Okay, that's 1 hour gone. Beautiful. We were speaking about beauty, beloveds, and let me continue on. Our beauty is existence, and it is not the knowledge of what something looks like, where something is, how much something costs, who made it, what brand it is. That's Luciferian consciousness. That's a lesser consciousness. That's a lesser way of seeing, of knowing. It's not wise. It's just logic, human logic that changes, forever changing, in phases and seasons, like the tides, like the waves. The waves are part of the water, even when they rise separately, they're still water. One drop is still connected to all the other drops. It exists within existence, not outside of existence, because it's observed. Again, the insecurities of being created so beautiful, only to function as John the Baptist to Jesus' second fiddle, it never being about you, no matter the power and principality, no matter how spectacular, everything built upon your foundation of knowledge of human beings will crumble. And this is the powers and principalities that are that we are at war with. We are at war with the knowledge of good and evil versus existence. These are the powers and principalities that exist, the ideas and philosophies of civilizations. That need to compare and compete, that need to be dual, that does not understand that the wisest way to exist is as one, that needs to separate and give value to because it knows better than wisdom than to say it's all of my babies, all of them, bad, ugly, good, light, dark, young, old, fat, skinny, tall, short, handicapped, most beautiful, all of y'all is mine. I had all of y'all, and I'm gonna take care of all of y'all just the same. I'm gonna love you unconditionally no matter what. Doesn't matter to me if you consider yourself whole and holy, and this one thinks it's no value at all. It's cast off. It's has no worth. If you exist, you have worth. If you exist, you are beautiful. If you exist, you contain the wisdom of existence within you. And no matter what form it appears, it serves wisdom's plan. Okay, let me pause for just a moment, beloveds. I need some water. Okay, beloveds. I got me some water and I got a little cold around my shoulders with the fan on, so I got this shawl. Now let's continue. Powers and principalities, how spectacular Everything built upon the foundation of knowledge of human beings crumble based upon the insecurities of being created so beautiful, only to function as second best to wisdom, and how um, that presented itself to me in the narrative of John the Baptist and Jesus Christ, as John being the forerunner of Jesus. And understanding how there is no competition, but yet in the celestial, in the same Christian, Luciferian, and the Christ consciousness, the lesser and greater lights, Christ being Michael, the archangel, the first born son or first creation that helped to create everything in existence. Satan, Lucifer, the devil, whatever you want to call him, being the second born son, and knowing he is not going to inherit, but feels that he is the most beautiful and that he should. And being given a different set of gifts than the Archangel Michael, who is a warrior, prince, or king, or whatever you want to call that. Okay, and Lucifer being a choir director, basically, one to usher in the spirit. So he was given a whole different set of tools. But he was overcome with his mind, his narcissistic mind, that has said he was the most beautiful. So he should be the one in charge. His ideas were better than wisdom. What he could come up with was better. And that's where you get Cain and Abel. And that's where you get all the other, even throughout the Bible, you have the different families within each own household. You have the children killing each other, or you have the children killing the parents, or you have the children marrying the concubines of their fathers. Understand what the narratives of all of this, what the meanings is. See the wisdom of what is being inferred to you. And understand that it's not about the gathering of the knowledge. It is about being still in your existence. Because if you're going to chase knowledge, you're going to miss the point of your whole existence. Your existence is not about knowledge. It is about existing as existence. That you don't have to do anything to improve yourself. You don't have to do anything to change yourself, to fit into someone else's narrative of what is beautiful, what is intelligent, what is smart, what is wealthy, what is worthy. You don't have to measure up. You don't have to shrink in stature or shrink your intelligence or shrink your wisdom or water it down. In order to fit in to someone else's narcissistic knowledge of good and evil. Understand you have your own Garden of Eden, which is your conscious awareness. And that you have your own Lilith and Adam and Eve and devil all romping around in there still. And what you do, what you follow, is your outcome of your heaven and your hell. What happened in heaven was the mind was kicked out. So when I say your mind can't even ride in the car with you, kick it out. Because while it's there with you, it's going to give you directions. It's going to give you opinions. It's going to blah, 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 blah. It don't know how to shut up. But when you say you can be on this journey with me, but you have to be outside the car. I know you're going to be here. I'm not getting rid of you. You're still here. You exist. There is no the mind not existing. That is not an alternative in any reality. But the mind can be put outside the car. Meaning you're less in my face, in my ear, I'm paying less attention. You have, you ain't got nothing to do with where my car is going, where it's going. None of that. The mechanics, none of it. All you can do is keep up. I'm not keeping up with you. You keeping up with me. I'm wisdom. Keep up. Why? Because you built it up. The knowledge of good and evil, whose truth shifts and changes with the seasons and cycles, the phases, the lunar lesser lights, compared to the dependable greater light, the wisdom of the sun, steady, changing, shining on all the time. And let me break that down a little bit, beloveds. Knowledge of human beings crumble. Why? Because you built it upon the knowledge of good and evil. Meaning, the knowledge of good and evil shifts and changes with the seasons and the cycles, the phases, the lunar tides, the lunar months, the lunacy, compared to the dependable greater light, the wisdom of the sun, which is steady. You know it's going to rise and it's going to set every day. Whether it's cloudy, rainy, snowing, whatever, you know the sun is there. Regardless. It's not going to be half a sun. It's not going to be a quarter of a sun. It's not going to be no sun. The sun is going to be there. And what I'm getting from all of this, the wisdom of it, is to understand that the Christ consciousness, or that firstborn son, or that greater light, that's the sun. That's why it was worshipped in that sense. The lesser light is also worshipped. It is worshipped as the moon. It is worshipped as the Luciferian light. You have Satanists. You have all of this. You have to understand the lunar light is reflective. That means it uses shadow light to reflect. That means it is at a different angle, or it is the opposite of what is looking dead at it. It's the opposite of the sun. Both exist, both serve their purpose. Both can be used for good or evil. Wisdom says, remember, there was a time when they were one. In the abyss, they were one. Before the creation or the division of the knowledge of good and bad and the conscious awareness of this and that, there was one language. There was one existence that was solar and lunar all at the same time. There was no division. And that became, is what I'm being told, that became or began to be seen as chaos. And so the separation and the division came about in order to relearn, rebirth the integration or the uniting of the forces of existence, these forces of existence in all the bodies. Okay, that is that one. The symbols of the photo: skeleton in the guise of death and the grim reaper. The words written on the two fists or hands: game over. The chains, talismans, weapons of torture, the totem skull. The colors in the format of blue, white, and red instead of red, white, and blue. Again, this is a mirror effect. And so I didn't go into what all of these different, what the knowledge of all of these signs and symbols are. You can look that up on your own, or you can see 1,000 different meanings to it, and the mind will take you 1,000 different directions with it to interpret what you need to interpret or where you need to go. But the fact is, beloveds, is the skeleton in the guise of death or the grim reaper saying game over. That's knowledge of good and evil. That's not the wisdom. Wisdom is birth, death, and rebirth. Okay, the grim reaper only takes. And that skeleton is what remains of life throughout the times, throughout the centuries. And that skeleton is non-changing. And that skeleton does not represent death. It represents existence. Understand that. Because that's what remains after death. The words written on the two fists, hands. On one hand, game, on the other hand, over. Okay, whether it's right or left, you can come up with all kind of theories, conspiracies, whatever you want to. It's the two being put together to make one word, game over. The chains, talismans, weapons of torture, and the totem skull. All of these represent the realm of mental knowledge and what the mind can do to you. And that its goal is to enslave you and to take your life, take over your life. That is the point of the skull being there. And the skull now, because life is no longer there, the skull being empty. The colors in the format of blue, white, red, And beloveds, we can look up those colors. We can look up the spectrums in the sun. We can look up the lunar frequencies of those particular colors. We can look up the chakra colors. We can look up the ancient symbols. We can gather all the knowledge in the world about those three colors. The fact is, existence exists. Okay? And the three colors are united. They're being integrated into one. And right now, this for me is about America. And it's speaking on all of the exchanges and all of the currencies and all of the current events, all the past, present, and future being merged into one. Getting away from the supremacy, getting away from the Luciferian light of not being able to accept the changes, but being able to understand the changes, being able to understand that one time period or one light is going to eclipse another, because that is the wisdom of existence. And in these cycles and seasons of eclipses, dramatic changes happen. And as these changes happen, they have been documented. And some would call it hidden knowledge, but the sun and the moon are there for all to see. It's there for all to track and record, from your birth date down to this second. If you want to use the knowledge and know yourself in that manner, there is nothing in existence that is hidden from you, or that is kept from you, or that you don't have access to. It is only the mind that insists that you don't. Allow existence to speak to you. Do not allow its surface appearance to allow fear to put you in a state of being less than existence, less than the wisdom of existence itself. Let me read that one more time, because that is so powerful, beloveds. That is so powerful. Allow existence to speak to you. Excuse me. Allow existence to speak to you. Do not allow its surface appearance. So do not allow the form that wisdom may take, the surface form, what you see on the outside or what you see on top, or what it appears to be the whole complete picture of wisdom. Know that there is something, always a deeper meaning, a deeper consciousness, a deeper level, a deeper frequency, a deeper spectrum than what your physical eyes, what your physical senses can comprehend. Because that is how you are made, with all of your bodies. See, observe from all of your bodies, not just your physical, not just your emotional, not just your mental. Align them. And don't allow what you see to put fear in your being. Don't allow fear to put you in a state of being less than the wisdom of existence itself. Knowledge will reduce you to something insignificant, to a sinner, to something less than worthy of unconditional love, to something less than worthy of existing in its holiness, in its wholeness, in its entirety. You must be full of dis-ease and discomfort to exist. That's what the mind wants you to think. wisdom says that's not the truth of who and what and why and where and how you are. You are existence. You are not less than existence. You can never be less than existence. Know yourself. And so, like I said, this picture presented itself to me, and it had its own energy, and it was, oof, it's like, why, why do I feel this way about this picture? And it's creepy, and it's dark, and it's blah 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 blah, 1,000 different things was my response and my reaction to it. And like I said, it seeded something. Spirit said, just let it be. Quit resisting, let it be. It has something for you, it has a message. When you're ready to receive it, you will. Allow it to be there and allow it to exist. Okay? 10 feet, 50 feet, give me 50 feet. Go exist over there somewhere, you know. But every now and then it surfaces. And I'm like, what? 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 And like I said, today I woke up with, oh, okay. Why? Because I was able to receive it. That's the receptivity. Being open enough, without judgments, without putting your projections of what something means and shutting it down with your blockages and blurring it with your thoughts or trying to eradicate it out of existence. And it's just knocking on your door saying, hello, you got a package, you got a message. The universe wants you to have this, you know, mama wants you to know this. And you're like, what? No, look at that. Girl, that can't be from mama. Da, 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 da. And so, beloveds, get past your appearances. And that too was the John the Baptist thing. John the Baptist roamed in the wilderness. He ate from the locust trees, you know, locusts and honey. He wore camel hair. He wore the clothes of prophets. Some people say cashmere in its rawest form. Don't make judgments, because what is highest and closest to wisdom has its own unique form, designed by wisdom, above your logic, above your mental capacity at any given moment. So even if something presents we have in mythology creatures that are blended. The griffins, the head of an eagle, the body of a lion, the tail of a bull, the blah 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 blah, the phoenix, we have all of these different chimeras. We have all of these different alchemical blendings to form new elements and new forms of existence. We cannot, some are harmful, some are helpful. It depends on how you use them, in what amounts you use them. Their beauty is in existence, regardless of what you do with it. So, what I'm getting here is, right now there's a fear in America and globally but I'm going to use America, of white white supremacy. That's that narcissistic conqueror of civilizations, blah, 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 blah. We're the heroes. The rest of you are the commoners, are the villains, are the peons, are the less thans, are the trash, are the monsters, are the savages, are the beasts, are the this and the that, and the blah, blah, blah. Okay. And what this download, what this transmission, what you are here to receive is that do not allow fear to put you in a state of being less than the wisdom of existence itself. So, beloveds, don't let somebody say because you're of your gender, of your size, of the color of your skin, the color of your eyes, the shape of your eyes, the shape of your ass, the shape of your titties, the shape of your lips, the space between your teeth, or the absence of, that you are less than. Because wisdom designed you. And you need to bring that forward into your highest conscious awareness. And you need to have that as your foundation from which to grow. You need to root yourself in the wisdom of your existence, that you are existence, and that you exist for a purpose. And allow that purpose to unfold. Allow that purpose to be born, to sprout, to rise. Ooh. Hold on here. Sorry, beloveds. Energy, retrograde, all of it. Let me just get back to where I was. Hold on a minute, beloveds. Let me shift this energy. Okay, beloveds. Let me, like I said, I needed to squoosh the air, put some sage up a little bit, and rearrange a few things, and here we go. Let's get back to it. Never allow yourself to be less than the existence, than the wisdom of existence. Never put yourself in a state of being less than the wisdom of existence itself. That conscious state of awareness is your sovereign inheritance. That conscious state of awareness is your truth. It is reality beyond delusion, beyond illusion, beyond deception of the mind, of the matrix, of the conditioning, of the programming. So, beloveds, learn to be, learn to exist in that, inside that existence. Learn to attune yourself to those frequencies. The wisdom of existence exists. Means you are not in competition with anything else in existence. That you don't have to worry about a higher or a lower frequency harming you, because you are part of that frequency as well. It is not separate from you. Existence cannot harm existence. Existence is still here. Existence will always exist. The only thing that fades or changes is the lunacy that comes in cycles and seasons of the mind, of the reflections, okay, of the shadows cast upon the sun. But when you understand that you are the sun and the moon as a human being existing upon this earth plane, influenced by both lights, and you are not at odds with yourself or with the reflected images of yourself that appear to you as aspects or others, whether form or formless, whether in sight, frequency, touch, any of your senses. Existence exists, and it exists to expand your conscious awareness of yourself. So why be afraid of yourself? Why be afraid of what you perceive as change into the unknowing? Existence exists. And whatever the seed is planted is going to exist how? As the shoot, as the blade of grass, as the mowed grass, as just the roots up under the dirt that can't be seen above. It's still there, waiting to reform, waiting to receive transmissions from the light of the sun rays, from the dewdrops and the lunar of the moon, in order to come through the earth and rise and fall in the winter and go dormant and come back up in the spring. It exists. Even the most fallow or the most barren have been shown to grow miracles or to be capable of the impossible, of what was thought impossible by the mind. Wisdom says, oh yeah, watch this. Relate more to wisdom, with wisdom. Allow yourself to allow your intrinsic wisdom to unfold. You were seeded with wisdom in your incarnation into this world. Tap into it. Tap less into the mind, the thoughts, the white noise. Go deeper into the stillness of existence, and everything will speak to you in a spiritual language, in a divine language that is not about the form of good or bad or evil or ugly or beautiful or loud or quiet or soft. Everything serves existence, meaning everything serves you. Don't take that in a narcissistic way. Be humble with it. The sun doesn't need to outshine the moon. The moon doesn't need to outshine the sun. The moon doesn't need to compete with the sun and say, look what I can do. I can go in phases. You can't change like I can change. They don't race each other and say, okay, let's see who's going to be in front and see who's going to be behind. See who's going to outshadow and outshine. Existence exists in its many states and frequencies and seasons and cycles. Forever, eternally. All is in alignment and serves existence. This is the wisdom of universal laws. Beloveds, if you truly want to know yourself and make sense and see the wisdom of your existence, please get in touch with the universal laws. Please put those laws before man's law. Please put those laws before your own mind's rules and regulations and measurements and philosophies and muddlings and mentions, because that's wisdom. Those laws didn't come about by the mind of man or any other being. Came about by the spirit of wisdom. It was born. Those universal laws were put into place before your creation. Before the creation of the galaxy, the universe, universal laws were put in place to govern the universe, to govern the planets, to govern the rotating, the cycles and the seasons of the Mazzaroth, to govern the life of the planets itself, to govern the life on the planets, seen and unseen, form and formless, past, present, and future. Existence exists. And it expands in its existence by birth, death, and rebirth. By the shedding of skins. When you die, what happens? The flesh comes off of your bones. Your bones is left in the earth. Your bones can be dug up billions of years later. And now we can determine, oh, this was a man, this was a black man, this was a black man that lived in this part of the world that originated from here and there and there and here. And his ancestors were. Why? Because existence exists. Existence sheds its skin and is reborn, reincarnated upon this planet Earth. And according to some, after so many reincarnations, numbers of 144,000 will be taken from this planet, and they will no longer need to incarnate. But that number is dwarfed by a number that no man can count. And those are the beings that will inherit the existence as existence upon the planet Earth existence in a paradise state. And it will be kept in that state because the mind will be kept in its place, which is outside of conscious, spiritual conscious awareness. That is the new duality, That is flipping the mirror from the inside out, outside in, however you want to look at it, based upon universal laws to govern this cycle and season of it until the next. Okay? And everything is about the expansion. So, the conscious awareness has to be expanded to a frequency where it can receive, transmit, transform, and transmute all at the same time. There will always be a few beings that are able to do that. That is, they are the firstborn. That is who they are. That is their existence. Know thyself. Begin to understand why you, as unique individual, struggles. Understand why the collective struggles. Know thyself. Begin to understand why you, as a unique individual, struggle. Why do you, as a unique individual, struggle? Because of your mind's conditions, conditionings, beliefs, addictions, needs to be in control, mastering ability, sadistic tendencies. That is why you suffer. That is why you struggle. Your own mind does it to you. Whoosh. Nobody else holds that will. Nobody else tells you how to respond, how to feel about that, how to see that, how to interpret that. Just like that card. Like I said, when that picture first appeared to me, I suffered. I suffered my mind's thoughts about what was the energy of it, what it meant. Was it dangerous? I let my mind do all of that. My existence says, Valerie, existence exists. Let it be. Let it be what it is. If you don't have to understand it this minute, it'll speak to you when you're ready. Let it be what it is. Okay, mama. That's learning to listen to a higher conscious other than my fear, other than my mind. That's taking that power away from the mind, understanding the mind is going to be the mind. That's the only way it has to function. That's the only way it knows how to function. Okay? Is to go here, there, yonder, compare this, compare that. You know, be scared of this, be brave of this, be do to this, take this archetype on, take this. That's what it does. It does those gymnastics. Existence is still. Existence like child. Whatever. When you're ready to hear me, you'll hear me. When you're ready for what I got to feed you, you'll open your mouth and you'll receive it. You'll digest it. You'll transmute it, transform it, and shit it out. Transmit it. Okay? And that's the nature and the natural essence of existence. Quit trying to make it into, quit letting the mind put it into something that's not. It's very simple. It's so basic and simple that wisdom don't play. Wisdom don't have to be highfalutin. Wisdom ain't got to put on all of this. Wisdom is like, baby, I'm butt raw naked. What? You can't handle me? Dress me up then. Do what you got to do to me in order for you to get it. And so that's what the mind does. Well, you got to put this on it to make it, you got to season it up with this to make it appeal to you, and it's got to be from the Egyptian point of view, and you know, and hey, it's got to be built by these degrees and have this foundation, and you know, so and so and so had to have said it, you know, in order for it to be real. And so that's that mind, baby. Existence exists. What existed before that? Before the Egyptians, what existed? Before the Mesopotamians and the Babylonians and the Sumerians, what then? What? Hmm? Before human beings, what existed? Before the animals, what existed? Before the plants, what existed? Before the earth was made, what? What your mind got to say about that? Oh, it's got something to say. The Big Bang and the blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then somebody, no, the Big Bang, no, God had to be in that. And ain't no Big Bang, and this and this, and the greater wisdom, and the body, booty. And you like, baby, let existence exist. Watch it unfold. Watch it unfold, baby. Be still. Root yourself, and you exist. Okay? Root yourself in that. And stop struggling. Stop struggling. When you find your mind putting you and setting you up for struggles, well, they don't like me, and they said this, and they and them, and me, and I, and it, and that's not unconditional love. It's not. Unconditional love allows you growth. It allows you mistakes. It's not even about forgiveness, because it knows you got to go through this. You're gonna struggle to get to existence, to extend to existence. You going to miss some steps, you gonna tumble down, you gonna get your ass back up, hurt, broke legs, broke arms, knocked out teeth, but you gonna get up. And eventually you're going to understand with all of your beings that you are existence existing, and that there is nothing higher than that. And from that point, you begin to expand. But we have to get to that point. We've got a ways to go. But I see it. I see it. And I'm excited about it. I am truly excited. And like I said, a couple years ago, I was the one that was just waiting to die. And I've said that. I've endured enough, I've seen enough, I've struggled enough, I've heard enough, I've heard it enough. I'm too much of a coward to kill myself. I respect life too much, but I will continue to just sit here and suffer and just die out. I will do that. Little did I know, existence was like, that's a phase, Valerie. You'll get through that too. And you'll look back on it and you'll be able to say, damn, my mind had me, boy. My mind had me on a short leash, boy. I was chained to a tree. Sit, boo boo. Roll over, play dead. And my mind got pleasure from that, because the mind is sadistic. It's narcissistic. Okay? It enjoys seeing your existence separated from you. That's the polarity of it. Your highest frequency just says, one day you'll get it. Just like Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for they don't know no better. One day you'll understand. You know that Lauryn Hill song, one day you'll understand. How many times you hear your mama say, one day you'll understand? When you have children of your own, one day you will understand. Existence says, one day when you have and allow yourself to understand that you are existing, you will understand. The wisdom of existence will kick your mind's ass. Excuse me 1 minute here. Okay, beloveds, thank you. I left off at know thyself, begin to understand why you as a unique individual struggle, and understand why the collective struggles as well, and understand that we cannot separate the individual from the collective. That is the microcosmic affecting the macrocosmic affecting the microcosmic. You cannot have one without the other, just like we need the sun and the moon. Begin to see what happens when we stop letting what we know become a weapon to use against existence ourselves. So we're being told to observe what happens when we stop letting what we think we know upset the whole entire apple cart, overturn wisdom, overturn reason, overturn intuition and instincts based upon the logic or the thinking of someone else, basically, to overrule us, or the mind to overrule us. And beloveds, understand that we are so much more than what we have even began to discover just yet. And we have a long way to go, but we're getting there. And so I just want to thank you and say namaste. I hope everything that I have shared expanded things for you. Love you. Namaste. Goodbye.